The vast expanse of space stretched out before the Galactic Confederation's survey ship Starseeker. Its sleek, crystalline hull glimmered in the light of a distant binary star system as it approached the uncharted planet designated KEX 259. On board, a diverse crew of alien species worked in harmony, each bringing their unique abilities to the mission of exploration and discovery. Commander Zixari, a Lumidian with bioluminescent skin that pulsed with shades of blue and green, stood on the bridge. Her elongated fingers danced over the holographic controls as she addressed her crew. "We're entering orbit around KEX 259. Initial scans show no signs of advanced civilization, but there are some unusual energy readings coming from the northern hemisphere. Let's investigate." Dr. Krell, a Vexillian scientist with 4 arms and compound eyes, chittered excitedly. "Commander, those energy signatures, they don't match anything in our database. This could be the breakthrough we've been searching for." The Starseeker descended through the planet's atmosphere, its advanced shielding protecting it from the turbulence. As they broke through the cloud cover, the landscape below revealed itself, a world of purple vegetation and towering crystal formations that sparkled under the light of the binary stars. "Bringing us down near the source of the energy readings," announced Pilot Quix, a silicon-based Petravian whose rocky skin seemed to shimmer as they manipulated the controls with precision. As the ship touched down in a clearing, the crew prepared for their expedition. Commander Zixari led the away team, consisting of Dr. Krell, Security Officer Brentok, a hulking Ascidian with bear-like features, and Technician Ilara, an energy being contained within an exosuit. The moment they stepped onto the planet's surface, their sensors began to react wildly. "The energy readings are off the charts," Ilara reported, her voice tinged with both excitement and caution. "It's like nothing I've ever seen before." They made their way through the alien forest, the crystal formations growing larger and more intricate as they approached the source of the readings. Suddenly, Brentok held up a massive paw, signaling the team to stop. "Look there," he growled, pointing to a formation that seemed too regular to be natural. Before them stood a massive structure, its design a perfect fusion of technology and artistry. Smooth, curved surfaces intertwined with sharp angles, creating a form that seemed to defy the laws of physics. The material appeared to be some kind of metal, but it shimmered with an inner light that pulsed in complex patterns. "Incredible," breathed Dr. Krall, his compound eyes wide with wonder. "This structure, it's not just a building. It's a machine, a computer, and a work of art all in one." Commander Zixari approached the structure cautiously, her bioluminescent skin flashing patterns of curiosity and apprehension. As she neared, a section of the wall seemed to ripple and then parted, revealing an entrance. "It's inviting us in," she said, her voice filled with awe. The team exchanged glances, a mix of excitement and trepidation evident in their alien features. With a nod from the commander, they stepped into the unknown. The interior of the structure was even more breathtaking than its exterior. The walls pulsed with light, displaying intricate patterns that seemed to respond to their presence. As they moved deeper into the facility, holographic displays sprang to life around them, showing star charts, mathematical equations, and diagrams of fantastical technologies. "This place," Ilara said, her energy form flickering with excitement within her exosuit, "it's a repository of knowledge. But whose?" As if in response to her question, a central platform in the heart of the structure began to glow. A beam of light shot upward, coalescing into a holographic figure. The being that appeared before them was unlike any species they had encountered in their explorations of the galaxy. It stood on 2 legs, with 2 arms ending in 5-fingered hands. Its head was rounded, with forward-facing eyes, a protruding nose, and a mouth full of flat teeth. The hologram smiled, and when it spoke, its words were somehow understandable to all present. "Greetings, explorers. I am AORIA, the Advanced Recursive Intelligence Archive. You have discovered one of the last outposts of humanity." The away team stood in stunned silence. Humanity? The word was unfamiliar, absent from the vast records of galactic history. Commander Zixari was the first to find her voice. "RIA, we are representatives of the Galactic Confederation. I'm afraid we're not familiar with humanity. Our records contain no reference to your species." The hologram's expression shifted to one of sadness. "I see. Then it has been far longer than we anticipated. Tell me, explorers, what year is it by your reckoning?" Dr. Kral, ever the scientist, quickly converted their dating system. By the standard galactic calendar, it is the year 47,126 since the founding of the Confederation. RIA was silent for a moment, processing this information. When it spoke again, there was a note of melancholy in its voice. "Fascinating. When I was last active, your confederation did not exist. Humanity spread across the stars over 100,000 of your years ago." The revelation sent shockwaves through the team. Brentok's fur stood on end, while Ilara's energy form flickered erratically. Dr. Krell's mandibles clicked rapidly in agitation. "That's impossible," the Vixilian scientist chittered. "No civilization could have existed that far back without leaving some trace in the historical record." "Unless," Commander Zixari interjected, her skin pulsing with patterns of excitement, "they are the precursors we've been searching for all along." Aoya's hologram nodded. "Precursors? An interesting designation. While it's true that humanity played a significant role in shaping the galaxy, we never thought of ourselves in such grandiose terms. We were explorers, inventors, dreamers, and sometimes, I fear, destroyers." The team listened in rapt attention as AOIA began to unfold the long-lost history of humanity. It spoke of a species that had risen from a single world, reaching for the stars with an insatiable curiosity. Humanity had spread across the galaxy, terraforming worlds, uplifting species, and pushing the boundaries of science and technology. But with great power came great responsibility, and not all humans wielded it wisely. Conflicts arose, both among themselves and with other emerging civilizations. Facing threats from within and without, the greatest minds of humanity came together to forge a plan, the Lazarus Protocol. "We would scatter seeds of humanity across the galaxy," AOIA explained. "Hidden caches of technology and DNA, watched over by AIs like myself. When the time was right, when the galaxy had evolved and matured, we would re-emerge." As the A's tale came to an end, the away team found themselves grappling with the implications of this discovery. The lost civilization they had been searching for had been found, but it raised more questions than answers. Commander Zixari, her mind racing with possibilities, asked, "AOIA, are there more facilities like this? More of your kind waiting to be awakened?" The hologram nodded. "Indeed, I am but one node in a vast network. Now that I am awake, I can sense the others, still dormant, but alive in their way waiting." Dr. Kral, ever practical, raised one of his 4 hands in question. "And what happens now? Do you intend to reactivate these other nodes, to bring humanity back?" Aoya's form shimmered thoughtfully. "That was the original plan, but much has changed. The galaxy you describe is far different from the one we left behind. I would know more before making such a momentous decision." Commander Zixari stepped forward, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with determination. "Then let us learn from each other, AOIA. You hold the key to unlocking the greatest mystery in our history. In return, we can show you what the galaxy has become in humanity's absence." As the team began to share information with AOIA, none of them fully grasped the magnitude of what they had uncovered. The awakening of this single AI would set in motion a chain of events that would reshape the galaxy, bringing long-buried secrets to light and challenging the established order of civilizations. The cosmic tapestry, it seemed, was about to be rewoven, and humanity, the forgotten thread, would once again take its place in the grand design. Back on the Starseeker, as the away team prepared their report for Galactic Confederation headquarters, an air of excitement and apprehension filled the ship. They knew that the news of their discovery would send shockwaves through the galaxy. Commander Zixari sat in her quarters, composing the most important message of her career. Her skin flickered with a mix of emotions: pride at their discovery, concern for the potential consequences, and a deep sense of wonder at the mysteries still to be unraveled. As she finished her report, she couldn't help but smile. The galaxy was about to change, and they were at the center of it all. Whatever came next, one thing was certain: the age of humanity was about to begin anew. News of the discovery on KX-259 spread through the Galactic Confederation like wildfire. Within days, the once quiet system became a hub of frenetic activity. Ships from every major species converged on the planet, each vying for the opportunity to study the ancient human facility and its remarkable AI guardian, HFY. Commander Zixari stood at the viewport of the Starseeker, watching as yet another research vessel entered orbit. Her bioluminescent skin pulsed with a mix of pride and concern. "I never imagined our discovery would cause such a stir," she mused to Dr. Kroll, who was busy analyzing the latest data from the facility. The Vixilian scientist's compound eyes flickered with excitement. "Can you blame them, Commander? We've uncovered the greatest archaeological find in galactic history. The knowledge contained in that facility could revolutionize every field of study." As if on cue, the ship's communications system chimed. "Commander," came the voice of Communications Officer Neri, a sylphid whose gossamer wings shimmered as she hovered over her station. "We're receiving a priority transmission from Galactic Confederation High Command." Zixari nodded, her skin flashing a pattern of acknowledgement. "Put it through to my ready room, Neri. Dr. Kroll, you're with me." In the privacy of the ready room, a holographic projection materialized, revealing the imposing figure of High Chancellor Vox, a form whose crystalline body refracted light in mesmerizing patterns. "Commander Zixari, Dr. Kroll," the Chancellor's voice resonated. "Your discovery has sent shockwaves through the Confederation. The Council is concerned about the implications." Zixari's skin pulsed with a calming blue. "Chancellor, I assure you that we're taking every precaution. HFY has been nothing but cooperative, and the knowledge we've gained is precisely what worries us," Vox interrupted. "A civilization capable of such technological marvels, hidden for eons, it could upset the balance of power in the galaxy. We're sending a delegation to assess the situation. Until then, you are to restrict access to the facility. Is that understood?" As the transmission ended, Zixari and Kroll exchanged worried glances. "This complicates matters," the commander sighed. "Perhaps," Kroll chittered thoughtfully, "but it also buys us time. Time we can use to learn more from HFY." Over the next few weeks, as diplomatic tensions simmered in orbit, Zixari's team worked tirelessly with HFY, piecing together the long-lost history of humanity. The A's vast knowledge base proved to be a treasure trove of information, revealing a species whose influence on the early galaxy was staggering. "It's extraordinary," Ilara marveled during one of their debriefing sessions, her energy form pulsing with excitement within her exosuit. "The more we learn about these humans, the more incredible they seem. Their rate of technological advancement was unprecedented." Security Officer Brentok, ever cautious, growled softly. "Which makes them all the more dangerous. How do we know this AI isn't manipulating us, feeding us information to serve its own agenda?" "Our AI has been nothing but transparent," Zixari countered, her skin flashing patterns of reassurance. "Besides, the technology in this facility alone corroborates much of what it's told us. No, I believe we're on the cusp of something truly remarkable." As if summoned by their discussion, HFY's familiar hologram materialized in the center of the room. "Greetings, friends. I've completed my analysis of the data you provided on the current state of the galaxy. I believe I'm ready to make a decision regarding the activation of other human outposts." The team gathered around, a mix of anticipation and apprehension evident in their diverse alien features. Zixari nodded, her skin pulsing with a soft, encouraging light. "We're ready to hear your decision, HFY." The A's holographic form shimmered as it began to speak. The galaxy has changed profoundly since the time of humanity's diaspora. The civilizations you represent have built wonders of their own, forged alliances, and faced challenges we could scarcely have imagined. It would be unwise to simply reactivate all human technology and emergence protocols without careful consideration. Brentok's massive form seemed to relax slightly, his fur settling. A sensible choice, he rumbled approvingly. However, Aoria continued, neither can we remain hidden any longer. The knowledge and technology we possess could greatly benefit the galaxy if introduced carefully and ethically. Dr. Krell's mandibles clicked rapidly in excitement. What do you propose? A gradual awakening, Aoria replied. We will activate a small number of outposts, each in a different sector of the galaxy. From these, we can reintroduce human knowledge and technology in a controlled manner, allowing your civilizations time to adapt and integrate our advancements. Zixari's skin pulsed with patterns of fascination. An intriguing proposal, but surely such a plan would take years, perhaps decades to implement fully. Aoya's hologram smiled, a gesture that still seemed strange coming from such an alien face. Commander, when you have slept for over 100 millennia, a few decades is but the blink of an eye. We have time. As the team discussed the implications of Aoya's plan, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Ilara, interfacing directly with the systems, reported urgently, "We have a problem. Multiple ships are entering the system, heavily armed. They're not responding to hails." Brentok sprang into action, his massive paws working various controls. Pirates? Or perhaps isolationists who fear the changes this discovery might bring? Unclear, Zixari replied, her crystalline form shifting to combat readiness. But we cannot allow this facility to fall into hostile hands. The knowledge here is too valuable, too potentially dangerous. Aoya's hologram flickered with concern. I concur. This facility has defenses, dormant for eons but still functional. I can activate them, but I'll need your help to coordinate with your ships in orbit. What followed was a tense battle that raged both in space and on the planet's surface. The attackers, a coalition of religious extremists who believed the human ruins to be sacrilegious, fought with fanatical zeal, but they were unprepared for the awesome power of awakened human technology. Ancient defense satellites, hidden in the debris fields surrounding the planet, sprang to life. They fired beams of coherent light that sliced through the attacking ships with terrifying precision. On the ground, automated defense systems emerged from hidden bunkers, laying down suppressing fire with weapons that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Through it all, Zixari and her team worked in perfect synchronization with Aoya, coordinating the defense and evacuating the research teams that had gathered to study the facility. The battle lasted for hours, but in the end, the attackers were repelled. As the dust settled and damage reports began to come in, the team gathered once more in Aoya's chamber. The A's hologram pulsed with what might have been concern. This attack, while regrettable, has forced our hand, Aoya said solemnly. We can no longer afford a slow, cautious reemergence. The knowledge of our existence is out, and there will be those who fear or covet what we represent. Zixari's form shimmered in agreement. What do you suggest? We must accelerate the awakening, Aoya replied. I will activate the primary nodes in each sector immediately. From there, we can establish a network to defend our outposts and begin the process of reintegration. As the implications of this decision sank in, Zixari realized that the galaxy stood on the precipice of a new era. The re-emergence of humanity would reshape the cosmic order in ways none of them could fully predict. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, she gave the order to begin the awakening process. As Aoya's consciousness spread across the stars, activating long-dormant human outposts, Zixari couldn't help but wonder. Was this the dawn of a new golden age for the galaxy, or the beginning of its greatest challenge? As the first reports of other activated human facilities began to pour in from across the galaxy, Zixari knew one thing for certain: nothing would ever be the same again. The galactic landscape transformed rapidly in the weeks following the activation of the human outposts. Reports flooded in from every corner of known space as dormant facilities awakened, each unleashing a torrent of advanced technology and long-forgotten knowledge. On the bustling trading hub of Nexus Station, Commander Zixari stood before the Galactic Confederation Council, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with a mix of determination and anxiety. The circular chamber was filled with representatives from hundreds of species, their forms as diverse as the stars themselves. High Chancellor Vox's crystalline body shimmered with barely contained agitation as he addressed the assembly. The situation is unprecedented. Human technology is spreading faster than we can control or understand it. Already, we're seeing massive shifts in the balance of power across multiple sectors. A holographic display in the center of the chamber showed a map of the galaxy, with pulsing lights indicating the locations of awakened human outposts. Dr. Krell, standing beside Zixari, gestured to the display with one of his 4 arms. Esteemed council members, while it's true that the emergence of human technology has been rapid, we must consider the incredible advancements it's brought us. The Vexillian scientist's compound eyes flickered with excitement as he continued. In just weeks, we've seen medical breakthroughs that have cured diseases that plagued us for millennia. Energy production has become cleaner and more efficient. Faster-than-light travel has been revolutionized, shrinking our vast galaxy. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber, but they were quickly silenced by a thunderous voice. Ambassador Krogath, a towering Ossidian with battle-scarred fur, rose to his full height. "And what of the weapons?" he growled. "We've all seen the reports. Entire fleets neutralized by a handful of human defense platforms. If this technology falls into the wrong hands, it could spell doom for us all." The chamber erupted into heated debate. Zixari's skin flashed patterns of calming blue as she raised her voice to be heard above the din. "Honored representatives, please, we stand at a crossroads. Yes, human technology is powerful, but it also offers us the chance to solve problems that have plagued our civilizations for eons. We must approach this with wisdom and cooperation, not fear and mistrust." As the arguments continued, a new alert flashed across the holographic display. Neri, the Sylphid communications officer who had accompanied the Starseeker team, fluttered her gossamer wings in agitation as she read the incoming message. "Commander," she whispered urgently to Zixari, "we're receiving a priority transmission from Aoya. It's about the Lazarus Protocol." Zixari's skin pulsed with surprise. She turned to address the council once more. "Esteemed colleagues, we've just received critical information from the human ARYA. With your permission, I'd like to patch it through." Chancellor Vox nodded reluctantly, and the holographic display shifted to show Aoya's familiar form. The A's voice resonated through the chamber, silencing all other conversations. "Greetings, representatives of the Galactic Confederation. I apologize for the interruption, but we've made a discovery of utmost importance. One of our activated outposts in the Cygnus Arm has reported the successful revival of a group of humans from stasis." The chamber exploded into chaos. Zixari's mind reeled at the implications. Living humans, not just their technology and AI, but the species itself, had survived. Aria's hologram waited patiently for the commotion to die down before continuing. "The revived humans are scientists and leaders who volunteered for the Lazarus Protocol. They are eager to meet with representatives of the Galactic Confederation and help ease the transition of human technology into your societies." As the council debated this new development, Zixari found herself lost in thought. The re-emergence of living humans added a whole new dimension to an already complex situation. How would the galaxy react to the flesh and blood progenitors of the technology that was reshaping their world? Over the following months, the impact of humanity's resurgence rippled across the galaxy. Some worlds embrace the new technologies eagerly, experiencing rapid advancements in quality of life, scientific understanding, and exploration capabilities. Others viewed the changes with suspicion and fear, closing their borders and rejecting all human influence. On the planet Novaterra, chosen as a neutral meeting ground, Zixari found herself face-to-face with living humans for the first time. Dr. Elena Vasquez, one of the awakened scientists, extended her hand in the traditional human greeting. "Commander Zixari, it's an honor to meet you. Your discovery of our outpost on KX-259 set all of this in motion." Zixari's skin flickered with patterns of curiosity and wonder as she awkwardly returned the handshake. "Dr. Vasquez, the honor is mine. I have so many questions." As they walked through the newly established human embassy, Elena explained the reasoning behind the Lazarus Protocol. Our civilization had reached a crossroads. Our technology had advanced faster than our wisdom to use it properly. We faced threats both internal and external. The Lazarus Protocol was our way of giving the galaxy, and ourselves, a fresh start. Zixari nodded, her skin pulsing thoughtfully. "But surely you must have known how disruptive your reemergence would be." Elena's expression turned serious. "We did, and we prepared for it as best we could. That's why we're here, to help guide the integration of our technology, to share our mistakes so they won't be repeated, and to forge new alliances in this changed galaxy." As they continued their tour, alarms suddenly blared throughout the facility. Security Officer Brentok, who had been quietly shadowing them, growled in alert. "We've got incoming. Multiple ships dropping out of FTL, weapons hot." Elena's eyes widened in shock. "But this is a diplomatic zone. Who would dare attack here?" Zixari's skin flashed with patterns of determination. "It seems not everyone is happy about humanity's return, Doctor. We need to get you to safety." As they raced through the corridors, the building shook with the impact of energy weapons. Through the windows, they could see sleek, black ships descending from the sky, their design unlike anything in the Confederation's records. "Unknown design," Brentok growled, his fur standing on end. "Could be isolationists, or maybe a new player we haven't encountered yet." They reached a secure bunker deep within the embassy, where other human scientists and diplomats had already gathered. Dr. Krull was there, his mandibles clicking rapidly as he worked on a console. "Commander, I've accessed the embassy's defense systems, but they're not designed for this level of assault." Elena stepped forward, her face set with determination. "Maybe not, but they weren't designed by humans either." She placed her hand on a seemingly blank wall, and a hidden panel slid open, revealing an advanced interface. "Let's show them what humanity can do when backed into a corner." As Elena's fingers danced across the alien controls, the embassy's defenses came to life with a fury that left even Zixari in awe. Energy shields of unimaginable strength snapped into place, while countermeasures disabled the attacking ships with surgical precision. Within minutes, the assault was over. The mysterious attackers, their ships disabled but crews unharmed, were quickly apprehended by Confederation security forces. In the aftermath, as the dust settled and the diplomats began the process of damage control, Zixari found herself looking at humanity in a new light. Their technology was impressive, yes, but it was their adaptability, their quick thinking in a crisis, that truly set them apart. As reports came in from across the galaxy of similar attacks on human outposts, all thwarted with equal efficiency, Zixari realized that the true impact of humanity's resurgence was just beginning to be felt. The galaxy was changing, faster than anyone had anticipated, and at the heart of it all were the humans, a species of contrasts capable of both great creation and potential destruction. As she watched Elena coordinate with Confederation leaders to strengthen defenses across allied worlds, Zixari knew that the path ahead would be challenging. But for the first time since this all began, she felt a glimmer of hope. With humans and the diverse species of the Galactic Confederation working together, perhaps they could forge a future brighter than any of them had dared to imagine. The age of resurgence had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The attack on Nova Terra was only the beginning. In the weeks that followed, a wave of violence swept across the galaxy, targeting human outposts and any worlds that had embraced their technology. The unknown aggressors, who came to be known as the Shroud, struck with terrifying precision and advanced weaponry that rivaled even that of the resurgent humans. On the bridge of the Starseeker, now upgraded with human technology, Commander Zixari's skin pulsed with urgent patterns as she addressed her crew and their human allies. The Shroud have hit another 3 systems in the past rotation. Millions are dead or displaced. We need to find a way to stop them. Dr. Elena Vasquez, the human scientist who had become an integral part of their team, nodded grimly. Our outposts are holding, thanks to the ancient defenses, but civilian populations are vulnerable. We never intended our return to bring such chaos. Brentok, the Ascidian security officer, growled in frustration. We still know nothing about these Shroud. Where did they come from? What do they want? As if in answer to his questions, the ship's communications array lit up. Commander, called out Neri, her gossamer wings fluttering in agitation. We're receiving a transmission. It's being broadcast across all frequencies to every system in the galaxy. On screen, Zixari ordered, her skin flickering with apprehension. The view screen came to life, revealing a figure shrouded in swirling darkness. When it spoke, its voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Citizens of the galaxy, hear us. We are the Shroud, guardians of the cosmic order. The humans you have so eagerly embraced are a plague upon existence. Their technology upset the balance eons ago, and now they threaten to do so again. We demanded their extinction once before, and we shall do so again. To any who stand with humanity, you share their fate. As the transmission cut off, a stunned silence fell over the bridge. It was Elena who finally broke it, her voice barely above a whisper. They're the reason we enacted the Lazarus Protocol in the first place. All eyes turned to her as she continued, her words heavy with the weight of hidden history. In our records, there are references to a catastrophic war that nearly wiped us out. An enemy that appeared from the darkness between stars, demanding our extinction. We never knew why. Zixari's skin pulsed with a mix of shock and realization. Your people went into hiding not just to give the galaxy time to grow, but to escape this threat. Elena nodded solemnly. And now, by awakening, we've brought the threat back to everyone. The gravity of the situation settled over the crew like a shroud. They were facing an enemy that had nearly destroyed a civilization as advanced as humanity at the height of its power. Dr. Crowell, his compound eyes flickering rapidly, broke the silence. But why now? Why didn't these Shroud attack when we first discovered the human outpost? The awakening, Brentok rumbled. They must have been dormant too, waiting for signs of human activity. We triggered their return when we activated the outposts. Zixari's skin flashed with determination. Then we'll face this threat together. Humanity, the Confederation, all of us. Neri, send word to every allied world. We're at war. What followed was a conflict unlike any the galaxy had ever seen. The Shroud attacked with relentless fury, their ships seeming to materialize from the very darkness of space. They wielded weapons that distorted reality itself, erasing entire planets from existence. But humanity and their allies fought back with equal determination. Human outposts became bastions of resistance, their ancient defenses holding firm against the onslaught. The diverse species of the Galactic Confederation brought their own unique abilities to the fight, forming strategies that the single-minded Shroud struggled to counter. On the front lines, the Starseeker and its crew found themselves in the thick of battle after battle. They raced across the galaxy, coordinating defenses, evacuating civilians, and striking back at Shroud forces wherever they appeared. During one particularly fierce engagement in the Orion Spur, the Starseeker found itself surrounded by Shroud vessels, their dark energy weapons tearing through the ship's human-enhanced shields. Hull breach on decks 5 through 8. Neri called out, her wings beating frantically as she worked to reroute systems. Brentok, manning the weapons console, growled in frustration. Our weapons can barely scratch them. We need something more. Elena, who had been working feverishly at an auxiliary console, suddenly looked up, her eyes wide with realization. The Lazarus Protocol, it wasn't just for preservation, it was a weapon of last resort. Her fingers flew across the controls as she explained. Each outpost contains a quantum resonance device. Activated together, they could create a field that disrupts the shroud's connection to our space-time. Zixari's skin pulsed with urgent patterns. Do it. Neri, broadcast the activation codes to all human outposts. Crowl, reconfigure our shields to match the resonance frequency. As Elena initiated the sequence, a wave of energy pulsed out from the Star Seeker, linking with similar pulses from human outposts across the galaxy. The fabric of space itself seemed to ripple and distort. The effect on the shroud was immediate and devastating. Their ships began to flicker and fade, as if losing their grip on reality. Some vanished entirely, while others were left drifting powerless. For a moment, it seemed as if victory was at hand. But then, at the heart of the Shroud fleet, a massive void began to form. A voice, ancient and terrible, boomed across all frequencies. Foolish creatures, you think to banish us. We are the void between stars, the entropy that awaits all creation. We have existed since the dawn of time, and we will be here at its end. The void expanded, threatening to engulf everything in its path. Zixari watched in horror as nearby planets were pulled from their orbits, drawn inexorably toward the growing darkness. Elena, she called out, her skin flashing urgent patterns, can we reverse the process? Use the quantum resonance to close the void. The human scientist shook her head, her face pale. Not without a massive power source. We'd need the energy output of a star to generate a field that's strong. As if on cue, AOIA's hologram materialized on the bridge. Commander, I have a solution, but it will require sacrifice. The AI quickly outlined a plan. By overloading the cores of several human outposts simultaneously and channeling that energy through the quantum resonance network, they could create a feedback loop powerful enough to seal the void. But the resulting gravitational shockwave will destroy the outposts, AOIA warned. And there's no guarantee that all the knowledge stored within them can be saved. Zixari looked to Elena, knowing what this would mean for humanity's legacy. The scientist nodded gravely. Do it. We created this situation. It's our responsibility to end it. With a heavy heart, Zixari gave the order. Across the galaxy, human outposts began to overload their cores, channeling unimaginable amounts of energy into the quantum resonance field. The void at the heart of the Shroud fleet began to contract, slowly at first, then with increasing speed. The voice of the Shroud echoed one last time, filled with rage and disbelief, before it was cut off abruptly. In a blinding flash of light, the void collapsed in on itself. The gravitational shockwave rippled out across space, destroying the remaining Shroud ships and, tragically, the sacrificed human outposts. As the light faded and sensors came back online, the crew of the Starseeker looked out upon a changed galaxy. The Shroud were gone, banished back to whatever dark realm they had come from, but the cost had been enormous. Zixari's skin pulsed with somber patterns as she surveyed the damage reports flooding in. We've won, she said softly, but at what cost? Elena, her face etched with the weight of her people's sacrifice, placed a hand on the commander's shoulder. We've given the galaxy a chance to rebuild, to grow, to become something greater than the sum of its parts. As the Starseeker set course for the nearest Confederation outpost, its crew knew that the real work was just beginning. The galaxy had been saved, but it would need to be rebuilt. And in that rebuilding, perhaps the best of humanity's legacy could live on. The age of conflict was over. The age of unity was about to begin. In the aftermath of the devastating conflict with the Shroud, the galaxy found itself in a state of upheaval. Entire star systems had been ravaged, civilizations displaced, and the technological landscape irrevocably altered by the integration of human advancements. The sacrifice of the human outposts had saved countless lives, but it had also left the surviving humans as refugees in a cosmos that both revered and feared them. 6 standard months after the final battle, the grand halls of the Galactic Confederation's Central Forum on Harmonia Prime were abuzz with activity. Representatives from every known spacefaring species had gathered for what promised to be the most significant diplomatic summit in recorded history. Commander Zixari, now Admiral of the Confederation's newly formed Unified Defense Fleet, stood at the entrance to the Great Chamber, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with a mix of anticipation and apprehension. Beside her, Dr. Elena Vasquez adjusted the collar of her formal attire, a blend of human design and alien materials that symbolized the cultural fusion taking place across the galaxy. "Ready for this?" Zixari asked, her patterns shifting to convey support. Elena took a deep breath. "As ready as I'll ever be. The fate of humanity, what's left of us, hangs in the balance today." As they entered the chamber, they were greeted by a cacophony of voices, each species communicating in their native tongue, while universal translators worked overtime to facilitate understanding. The circular room was divided into tiers, with each delegation occupying a section. At the center stood a holographic display, currently showing a rotating image of the galaxy with areas of conflict and reconstruction highlighted. High Chancellor Vox's crystalline form shimmered as he called the assembly to order. "Esteemed representatives of the galaxy, we convene today to address the most pressing issue of our time, the future of humanity and their place in our galactic community." The chamber fell silent as Vox continued. "We cannot ignore the immense contributions humanity has made, nor the sacrifice they undertook to save us all from the shroud. Yet, we must also consider the disruption their technology has caused and the potential dangers it may still pose." Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Ambassador Krogath, the Obsidian representative, rose to speak. "The humans have proven themselves to be powerful allies, but also unintentional harbingers of destruction. How can we be certain that their presence won't attract other ancient threats?" Elena stepped forward, her voice clear and resolute. "Ambassador, esteemed members of the Confederation, I understand your concerns. Humanity's reemergence has brought both wonders and challenges to the galaxy. But I ask you to consider this: the threat of the Shroud was not of our making, but a danger to all sentient life. It was through cooperation, human ingenuity combined with the diverse strengths of Confederation species, that we prevailed." She gestured to the holographic display, which now showed images of joint human-alien scientific projects and relief efforts. "In the months since the conflict, we've worked tirelessly alongside you all to repair the damage done. Human medical technology has saved millions of lives. Our terraforming expertise has made inhospitable worlds livable for refugees, and our scientists have collaborated with yours to develop safeguards against the misuse of advanced technology." Dr. Kroll, now the head of the Confederation's Thanosians Division, added his voice to the discussion. "If I may, Chancellor, the data is clear. Worlds that have embraced human cooperation have seen unprecedented advancements in quality of life, scientific understanding, and sustainable development. Yes, there have been challenges, but the benefits far outweigh the risks." The debate raged on for hours, with impassioned arguments from all sides. Some species, like the silicon-based Petravians, were staunchly pro-human, citing the revolutionary advancements in their crystalline technology. Others, like the isolationist Zenth Collective, argued for strict containment of human influence. As the discussion seemed to be reaching an impasse, AOIA's hologram appeared in the center of the chamber. The A's presence brought a hush over the assembly. "Honored representatives," AOIA began, its voice carrying the weight of eons. "I have been a silent observer of your proceedings, but I feel compelled to speak. Humanity's journey has been one of great triumphs and terrible mistakes. We went into hibernation not just to escape the Shroud, but to give ourselves a chance to learn from our errors." The A's form shifted, showing scenes from human history, great achievements alongside devastating wars. We offer our knowledge and technology not as a completed work, but as a foundation upon which all our species can build together. The challenges we face, resource scarcity, cosmic threats, the very entropy of the universe, are too great for any one species to face alone. Aloya's words seemed to resonate with many in the chamber. The hologram then turned to address Elena and Zixari directly. Dr. Vasquez, Admiral Zixari, your collaboration has shown us a path forward, not as humans, or Lumidians, or any single species, but as a united galactic community. Inspired by Aloya's speech, Elena and Zixari stepped forward together. Elena spoke first, her voice filled with conviction. We propose the formation of a new body within the Confederation, the Galactic Integration and Development Initiative. This organization will oversee the responsible dissemination of human technology, foster joint scientific ventures, and address the challenges of cultural integration. Zixari's skin pulsed with patterns of unity and hope. The initiative will be led by a council representing all member species, ensuring that no single race, human or otherwise, holds disproportionate influence. Together, we can forge a future brighter than any of us could achieve alone. The chamber erupted in discussion, but there was a newfound sense of purpose in the air. Over the next several days, proposals were drafted, debated, and refined. Finally, as the summit drew to a close, a historic vote was called. With an overwhelming majority, the Galactic Confederation voted to fully integrate humanity into the galactic community and establish the Integration and Development Initiative. Humanity would not be treated as refugees or a separate entity, but as equal partners in shaping the future of the galaxy. As the summit concluded, Zixari and Elena stood on a balcony overlooking the sprawling capital of Harmonia Prime. The city was a testament to galactic cooperation, with architecture and technology from 100 worlds blending seamlessly together. You know, Elena said, gazing at the stars above, when we first enacted the Lazarus Protocol, we never imagined this outcome. We hoped to return to a galaxy we could help shape, but instead, we found a galaxy that's helping to reshape us. Zixari's skin shimmered with patterns of contentment and excitement. The road ahead won't be easy. There's still so much work to be done, so many challenges to overcome. Elena smiled, placing a hand on her friend's shoulder. True, but for the first time in my very long life, I'm not just optimistic about humanity's future, I'm optimistic about the future of all sentient life. As they watched the first light of dawn break over the horizon, both human and alien felt a sense of profound hope. The age of isolation was over. A new era of unprecedented cooperation and discovery was just beginning. The galaxy, with all its diverse species and cultures, was poised to write the next chapter of its history together. A decade had passed since the historic Harmonia Prime summit, and the galaxy was experiencing a renaissance unlike any in recorded history. The Galactic Integration and Development Initiative, born from the collaboration between humanity and the diverse species of the Confederation, had ushered in an age of unprecedented growth, discovery, and harmony. On the newly christened world of Unity, a planet terraformed through the combined efforts of a dozen species, Admiral Zixari stood atop the observation deck of the Nexus Institute. Her bioluminescent skin pulsed with patterns of pride and wonder as she gazed out at the sprawling campus below. Scientists, engineers, and scholars from across the galaxy bustled about, their diverse forms a living testament to the new era of cooperation. Dr. Elena Vasquez, now Director of Xenocultural Studies, joined her at the viewport. Time had etched lines on her face, but her eyes still sparkled with the same curiosity that had driven humanity to the stars eons ago. Hard to believe how far we've come, Elena mused, gesturing to the vibrant cityscape beyond the Institute's grounds. A decade ago, we were refugees with a target on our backs. Now, look at us. Zixari's skin flickered with patterns of agreement and nostalgia. Indeed, the integration hasn't been without its challenges, but the progress we've made, It's beyond anything I could have imagined when we first discovered that outpost on KX-259. Their reminiscence was interrupted by the arrival of Dr. Krull, his chitinous exoskeleton now adorned with intricate patterns denoting his status as chief innovator of the Confederation's Science Council. "Ah, good that you're both here," he chittered excitedly. "You're going to want to see this. The Horizon team is ready for their first test." The trio made their way to a secure observation room overlooking an immense hangar. Within stood a ship unlike any the galaxy had seen before. Its sleek design incorporated elements from a dozen different species' architectural styles, culminating in a form that seemed to defy the very laws of physics. Brentok, now fleet commander of Confederation Defense, greeted them with a gruff nod. "About time you got here. We're about to make history, again." As they took their places, HFY's hologram materialized beside them. The AI had evolved over the past decade, its form now a shifting amalgamation of all sentient species in the Confederation. "The Horizon Project represents the pinnacle of our combined knowledge," HFY explained. "A ship capable of exploring not just our galaxy, but the space between galaxies." Elena's eyes widened. "You mean?" "Intergalactic travel," Krull confirmed, his mandibles clicking with barely contained excitement. "By combining human fold space technology with Lumidian phased energy propulsion and Vexillian quantum tunneling, we've created a drive system capable of crossing the vast voids between galaxies." Zixari's skin pulsed with astonishment. But the distances involved, the energy requirements would be enormous. Aroia's form shimmered. "That's where the Petravian crystal matrices come in. They can store and channel energy on a scale we once thought impossible. And with the Ascidian gravimetric stabilizers, we can maintain structural integrity even at transgalactic velocities." As the team watched, the ship, christened Unity, began to power up. Its hull thrummed with energy, patterns of light racing across its surface in mesmerizing sequences. "T-minus 60 seconds to transgalactic jump," announced the ship's AI, its voice a harmonic blend of all Confederation languages. As the countdown progressed, Elena turned to her friends, her expression a mix of excitement and nostalgia. "You know, when humanity first went into hibernation, we hoped to wait to a galaxy ready for us to guide. Instead, we found a galaxy that taught us how much more we had to learn." Zixari's skin rippled with patterns of affection and agreement. "And in teaching you, we all learned. The challenges we've faced, the obstacles we've overcome, they've united us in ways none of us could have foreseen." 10 seconds to jump," the AI intoned. Brentok growled softly. "Whatever's out there, in the dark between galaxies, or in Andromeda itself, we'll face it together." 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In a dazzling display of light and energy, the Unity seemed to fold in on itself before vanishing from a hangar. Moments later, a cheer erupted from the control room. The jump had been successful. Humanity and its allies had taken their first step into a much larger universe. As the observation room erupted in celebration, Zixari found herself reflecting on the journey that had brought them to this point. From the discovery of a dormant outpost to the brink of intergalactic exploration, it had been a path filled with wonders and perils in equal measure. Aria's hologram approached the group, its form settling into a representation that combined features from all of them, a living symbol of their unity. "This is but the first step," the AI mused. "Out there, beyond the boundaries of our galaxy, lie mysteries beyond imagination. New civilizations to meet, new challenges to overcome, new wonders to explore." Elena nodded, her eyes glistening with unshed tears of joy. "And we'll face them all together, as neither human nor alien, but as one united galactic community." As they turned back to watch the long-range telemetry from the Unity, Zixari felt a profound sense of hope for the future. The age of division was over. The era of true unity had begun. In the vast tapestry of the cosmos, the galaxy now shone as a beacon of cooperation and discovery, and as the Unity ventured into the unknown, it carried with it the combined hopes, dreams, and spirit of every species that called the Milky Way home. The story of humanity's resurgence had opened a new chapter in galactic history, but in truth, it was no longer just humanity's story. It was the story of all sentient life, bound together by shared curiosity, mutual respect, and an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. As the first images from the intergalactic void streamed in, filling the observation room with gasps of wonder, Zixari's skin pulsed with a simple yet profound pattern, one that needed no translation across species lines. Hope, unity, future. The greatest adventure in the history of all their civilizations was just beginning.